Can we find inspiration of Bhagavad Gita in Kantara? Yes, this is a very authorized technique explained in the Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter called Vibhuti Yoga on how to find inspiration of God in all aspects of dealing with the world, whether spiritual or non-spiritual. Since God is everywhere, even in a bar you can find inspiration for Sri Krishna. Even in a movie, even in a theater, even in the mall, even in a party, you can remember Sri Krishna. You can find opportunities. Only thing needed is a mental practice to invoke the remembrance of Sri Krishna. Like he said to Arjuna, Rasohum apsu kaunteya. Arjuna, when you taste the water, the taste is me. So in that way, he has already given the clue to find him in all the best things in the world. Wherever you see excellence, that is a fragment of me, he says in the Vibhuti Yoga Bhagavad Gita chapter. So we use the same technique here, analyze Kantara and see how we can find inspiration of Bhagavad Gita shlokas, the sayings of Lord Krishna in the Kantara movie. Thank you very much. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarisho viduhu sakhalena mahato yoganashta paramtap. So yoganashta happens. Yoganashta is very, very dangerous. And why yoganashta happens? Because people, because of some bad experience, they stop the family duties, family profession. Here Shiva stopped his father's family profession and went on to have casual fun, joining hands in corruption with the zamindar. So at that time, Panjurli approaches him many times in the forest, right? So here what we have to do is yoganashta happens. So any practice we do, here Lord Krishna also saying to Arjuna that I spoke this knowledge millions of years to sun god. So sakalena mahata yoganashta parantapa. For a period of time, the broken, it becomes broken, the lineage, the knowledge gets broken, just like Shiva broke the parampara of his father of doing the swadharma of Bhutakola and serving the villagers. Then Panjurli Deva pursues Shiva. But when the Sakalina Yoganashta Parantapa, when Yoganashta happens, when we forget Parampara, God doesn't sit quiet. He pursues us. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Whenever there is glani in dharma, whenever you are forgetting your swadharma, whenever there is a lack of spiritual cultivation, then for each individual there will be abhyuthana dharmasya tadhatmanam srujamyaham. I come, srujami, I come and into your life and invoke, I send, I can directly, or I send certain people to invoke dharma in you, to invoke the spiritual practices. We have now all seen in our lives that there will be, when we too much forget the Lord and get into the worldly enjoyment, there is some divine being, some neighbor, some friend, some relative. It triggers us the divine in us. We get some catch hold of some book. So there will be, this glani will be solved, the adharma will be suppressed. And then paritranaya sadhunam, will we be on the path to become a sadhu. Just like Shiva also, it happened like that. Panjurli didn't leave him in the forest. He was always being approached. Initially he becomes afraid. He gets, even in the dream, the Panjurli pursues him. So that is the compassion of the Lord. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya dushkritam dharma samsthapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I come into everyone's life to establish dharma. And when there is a mass level degradation, I come once in a millennium to establish at a society level. But in every individual's life I come. I send the acharya, I act through some instruments like friends, relatives, neighbors, right? So you see this Hare Krishna people distributing books on the roads, and we sometimes criticize them, but then they're agents of the Lord to give us a copy of Bhagavad Gita to revive our eternal spiritual life, friends. So in another aspect, we see that the Shiva then, we also surrender to the divinity. The Shiva decides, but then he needs the tough challenge of Guruva's murder. Only when Guruva's murder happens, becomes shaken, and he starts at a last hope. He starts, what it does do, as a last hope, he starts listening to the Panjurli, and he surrenders to the Panjurli, right, as a last hope. But then when he will be totally overwhelmed by the Panjurli, by the Zamindar, what happens is that when his head strikes the deity form, the Archavigraha of Panjurli, the divine enters into him. The divine, that is called the Shaktiyavesha avataram. He becomes the avatar of Golika. It enters into him, does magic. Similarly, Krishna entered into Arjuna. Krishna did all the work, but he behaved like a charioteer. when Arjuna decides, Karishye Vachanam Tava, I accept in toto whatever you say, Sri Krishna, then only Sri Krishna empowered him to defeat Karna, to defeat so many people. Here also, you see, when the Shiva surrenders totally to the divinity, then it enters, empowers, and does the work, and also takes him back to the divine. Remember, friends, it is not the fun to come back into the world, but the beauty of Kantara is the reality they have shown, that Shiva goes and merges into the Panjuri, Kutastam, Mameva Utthavam Atmanam Matparayanaha. Here it is said, right in the shloka. So, Sarvadharman Paritijya, when you completely surrender into me, give up all notions, giving up all fear, Mam Ekam Sharanam Braja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo, Moksha Ishayama, I give you liberation from all troubles and all your friends. So the whole village will be liberated of all the troubles. And then I will take you back, Manmana Abhavat Bhakta, into my eternal realm, where there is always fun, where there is always bliss, Sachidanandamaya Vaikuntham, Madhyajimam Namaskuru, Mahamejukthaivam Atmanam Matparayana. So, friends, let's invoke, if we have forgotten our parampara, let's invoke our Swadharma, let's practice spiritual life. And whenever we see that the God is pursuing us through friends, neighbors, relatives, and any instrument, let's be honoring it, and then take it up seriously. There are a lot of omens of the divine which will trigger us. Let's take it up and do some good work in the world and achieve spiritual perfection. Thank you very much. Friends, if you have enjoyed this video, this perspective of Bhagavad Gita and Kantara, how to get invoking the divinity in all situations in life, so please encourage by liking and subscribing. This will help us very much in producing more such content to encourage Sanatana Dharma. Thank you very much.